What's up, guys? It's the Essential John L. Crossfire.
And I am Nova Lee.
And you guys are tuned into Caught
In Conversation.
Shaka Laka Laka. Alrighty, welcome ladies and gentlemen to episode, I don't know what number this is going to be. It should be, keyword is should be episode 127, but as we record this on September 30th, knock on wood, nothing goes awry, nothing goes wrong. But we've actually got quite a handful of things coming up. So first of all, I'll just introduce myself. I am the Essential John L. Crossfire.
And I am Nova Lee.
And before I waffle on too much, Nova, we have quite a lot of things coming up to... If everything goes to plan, this will drop on the 6th of October, so this coming weekend as we record this. But we actually have a number of double header episodes coming up in the next couple of weeks. We've got one in the can we just did last week as we record this, but it'll be a future episode, and that's Gemstone. Very excited. But as we record this, we've actually got a conversation with Tommy Knight, Luke Watts, and Lord Andy Coyne lined up in the next few weeks that should all tie in some form or fashions for a couple of double headers. So again, knock on wood that nothing goes wrong. So I don't know what number this is going to be. Obviously, it'll be on the thumbnail. Should be 127, but if I say 127 and it ends up being 126 instead, or 128, or Lord forbid, push back to 129, this is here. We're doing a preview. ICW Central West, Emma Butler Memorial Show. The promoter, James High Octane Lanham, has actually so graciously sent us the exact order that he has booked this card. So from the opener all the way through the main event.
I love having connections, getting sneak peeks.
But in saying that, I say opener all the way to the main event. This is being billed as a triple main event with the opener technically part of that triple header. But before we get to that, Nova Lee, this obviously is a very special show. We've talked about it at end. As we record this, there's only 5 tickets left. By the time this goes out, there may not be any left.
Snap up those 5 tickets.
I'll still, put the link and everything in there just in case. But once we find out that there's no more tickets, that's it. There's no more tickets. We are capped. We won't have any special bonus tickets or standing room only. The venue we are in is a lot smaller than the old venue. It just is what it is. I cannot stress that enough. It feels this weird where it's, this is where being audio only kind of bites me on the ass, because I was just like, I didn't know what to do with my hands or what to say. But no, once those tickets are gone, they're gone. So hopefully if they don't sell by the time this goes out, hopefully this does help sell those tickets. But Nova Lee, would you like to hit these people with the song and match of the week for this episode? Okay. And then we can just do a little preview and throw out our predictions. I'm interested. I know that we've discussed some of these off air, and I think some of our predictions, as always, may be slightly different. So hopefully that doesn't open up too big of a debate, because we're going to try our best to mind our P's and Q's. The irony in me tripping over my words while I say that, because I know this is marked E for explicit, but this show does take place in a church, so we're going to try very hard to mind the language, the bad words, and et cetera. But Nova, give us the match and song of the week and explain why, and then we'll just jump into this card and talk a little bit about it.
Okay. So the song of the week for this episode is Burn in My Light by Mercy Drive. And the match of the week is Randy Orton versus Edge at Backlash 2020.
WrestleMania Backlash, pal.
WrestleMania Backlash.
I can't even remember if that
WrestleMania Backlash, WrestleMania? I don't know.
I can't remember. Was that the first year they did WrestleMania Backlash, or was the year after? But it's still funny.
But yeah, it's still funny.
This was obviously billed as the greatest wrestling match of all time, which obviously it wasn't. But if you'd like to explain why we have picked the song and the match, Nova, and we'll elaborate a bit more.
Okay, so I'll go into why we picked the match first. So Emma's all-time favourite wrestler was Randy Orton. I'm like, oh, good friggin' choice, girl. And this is one of Randy's old theme songs. Actually, John's favourite theme song that Randy had as well. So that's kind of why we picked the song.
Yeah.
And again, that song is Burn in My Light by Mercy Drive.
Yes. Hey, nothing you can say. Banger of a tune. Everyone knows it.
Love it.
Explain. We just alluded to the match, Nova, obviously, but explain to us properly why we picked this match.
So why we actually picked this match is the match we picked as we both really enjoyed it. And it took place during COVID with no fans, but was very well done and was a great follow-up to their last man standing match at WrestleMania 36, which of course also sadly had no fans. But all in all, just a banger of a match Randy Orton had. And that's why we chose it.
Emma, massive Randy Orton fan, and again, but like
just touching back on what that match was again, it was just Randy Orton versus Edge. In what was billed the greatest wrestling match ever at Backlash 2020.
See, I'm already biased to this match as it is because obviously this was around the time The Greatest Showman came out a couple of years, and then whoa, they had The Greatest Showman thing. But I think this match is a match that I have defended quite a lot because everyone talks about how Rock versus Hogan wasn't actually a great match, but the fans made it better.
Yeah.
This is almost a reverse Rock versus Hogan to where, like, was it the greatest match ever? Absolutely not. But it was a great match, and the story that they managed to tell, and granted with the finishing sequence, Edge tearing his shoulder because the RKO wasn't good enough to Kevin Dunn, so they had to redo that last spot with the springboard because, again, COVID, you could do retakes without having to do it live. You know, they should have just left it as it was and Edge wouldn't have got hurt. But this is a match where literally, like, I don't do star ratings and whatever, but I believe truly if there had have been, and maybe if they had fans, it wouldn't have been done this same way, but if there was fans for this particular match, it would have been a reverse Rock Hogan thing where this match was so much better than it gets credit for because of the lack of audience, and I genuinely, it would have been a 5-star match in my opinion. I remember, well, actually, even your brother, Gaz, watched that match actually with us. We watched that live, and not live because it was pre-taped, as I just mentioned, because they reshot the finish to this match. But I remember watching this, live, wink, wink, on the broadcast when they aired it, and we were popping so much. Like, they're busting out everyone else's finishes. Like, I think Edge hit the angle slam at some point. I think he used Christian's kill switch, obviously. Orton with the pedigree, and just doing all the greatest hits because it was the greatest wrestling match of all time. So there was lots of callbacks to multiple different wrestlers. But no, I could honestly go back, like, tonight or tomorrow and rewatch that match, and I'd probably still enjoy it just as much as we did back then. But that's my little sidebar rant. But I just think, Emma was a very big Randy Orton fan, hence why High Octane himself has actually started incorporating the RKO or the EVCB or ECVB. I'm sorry, Octane. I really should. It's written down in my notepad somewhere, so I should know this off the top of my head. But obviously Emma's initials, because Randy's RKO is literally just his initials of Randall Keith Orton. But very Randy Orton centered song and match of the week here. But I think those are two very fitting things, and definitely a match that I feel that Emma would very much appreciate, even with the lack of fans in live attendance. But Nova, you've got the notes in front of you. You've got all the matches written in front of you. I have the rules to certain matches written in front of me. But if you'd like to just quickly start off now, and we'll just jump straight into this. What is the opening match on this card for Emma Butler Memorial Show 2024?
Okay, so match 1, part 1 of our triple main event.
As I alluded to before, yes.
Benny the Back Rower versus Arima. Benny's return match.
Now, this was meant to be just billed as Benny's return to Cowra and possibly last match in Cowra, health pending, but Suplex did actually just have to unfortunately cancel their show, and I know that they've got a pit show coming up and Benny wants to go back and do a death match, so kind of crazy to think that a death match is going to be his first match back, but this will be his first proper match back now in a wrestling ring.
And which is also really cool is post-match, Benny the Back Row will be auctioning off his ring-worn gear, and all proceeds will go to Emma's tongue cancer charity.
Yes, and now
awesome.
Benny did get this gear made up in 2022. Unfortunately, at that event, and it was March 2022, he actually wrestled a death match the night before the Emma Butler Memorial Show, so unfortunately had to pull out of that one. This one, the death match, he's got a week and a bit to recover, so hopefully it doesn't happen again. But Benny has wore this once before. He did wear it at an ICW Canberra event. I believe it was his match against CJ Young, which was actually a pre-show match for ICW Canberra. It was an ICW Madness match. You can, cheap plug, go watch that on ICW's YouTube channel. And honestly, with all due respect to everyone on the card, that was one of the best matches on the card, and it was the freaking pre-show. But Benny wore that specifically for Octane, so Octane could see it. But unfortunately, Octane had to pull out of that show himself. So Octane is still yet to see this gear in person, and it's literally over 2.5 years in the making now of Benny having this gear. But yeah, it's a very
awesome.
it's basically just his regular kit, but it's made up in purple because obviously
For Emma.
Emma's colour, plus it tied in with the ribbon, so it's all this thing. Of course, I raffled off my special referee outfit at the last one, which wasn't as cool because I didn't even end up getting to wear it, so they just got a brand new ref jersey shipped to them, but it's still a piece of,
cool.
Central West memorabilia, and I do have a bag full of them in my room that I need to remember to give to High Octane ahead of this show for the referees to wear. But yeah, very, very, very awesome cause, and I don't know what the starting bid will be or anything like that, but I believe someone from Club Cowra, I can't believe the actual person's name, I should have written that down for you as well, Nova. Mark someone, I think, I don't know if they're just the owner or the manager, but someone that's very higher up in Club Cowra, one of the sponsors, and I will plug all the sponsors when I get to the end of this episode. But yeah, the Club Cowra will be helping Benny, I guess, proceed with this raffle. I can't think of the word to use, but yeah, he'll be partaking in the raffle, helping Benny raffle this off, or auctioning off, I should say. I don't know if it's going to be a straight up raffle ticket draw or an actual auction. Benny just said he's auctioning it off, so I don't know. I don't know which way it goes, because I know we do have a raffle as well, so I don't know if it's been chucked in with that or if it's separate. I should have got that information. I'm tripping all over my words, but
I'm just checking. It might be Mark McLeish.
Thank you.
The operations manager for the Club Cowra.
Yep. That sounds about right.
Just fact
Nova,
checking.
yes. Yes, because I thought I sent that to you, but apparently I didn't.
That's all right. I just did a quick
Google search.
Yeah.
Yes, it was Mark McLeish from Club Cowra. Yeah, will be helping Benny. I'm going to use the word auction because that's the word that I've been given. Yeah. Auctioning off this piece of memorabilia.
So he'll be the auctioneer.
Yes, I guess so. But
awesome.
Predictions, Nova. This is a very tough one for me because I can look at it in so many.
I'm just on Benny's side here. Like, return. He's doing like this awesome good deed of auctioning off his gear. Like, I'm very behind Benny on this one. Sorry, Arima.
my heart is with Benny, and like, not like cheap plug, whatever. But we did recently. Unfortunately, you missed that because you were down under the weather. But about 3 weeks ago, maybe about a month, I think, as we record this, we had Benny on the show. Might even be a little bit longer because time flies. Where he announced on the show that he was cleared for Cowra, and I almost cried. Literally,
I
almost
could hear
cried.
you in the other room. Like, I'm just chilling in the room because I wasn't well.
I'm trying hard not to swear, but I was just like, F, man. Like, I just
fire truck, man.
Yeah,
that's
like it
awesome.
just. And again, like, I'm not trying to put myself over here, but like two completely different situations, obviously. But being out of the ring for. This is going to be the 4th year out of the ring. Like, I was only wrestled for 3 years. Like, I've been out of the ring longer than I wrestled now. It's just a fact. It's a statistic.
Yeah.
And just knowing how much this means to Benny, I'm getting emotional now just thinking about it. And the fact that I get to be on commentary, and Nova, you're going to be second row for this. Like, I'm probably going to cry.
I'm probably going to cry with random strangers.
Honestly, like
just don't mind me.
But this is where I have to disagree with you, and I understand being someone that has wrestled. Emotion does play a big factor.
Oh, that's true.
But
it is a return match.
Is he gonna get too over emotional? Yeah. Is he gonna make a mistake? And then Arima, man,
ring rust.
That dude himself had a bit of an injury and had to take time off, and he's back with a vengeance. And my heart really wants to say Benny, but if I was a betting man, and this is why I'm not a betting man, because, I mean, maybe if we both place a bet, we can break even because we're a married couple, but there's probably some sort of fraudulent laws against that. But
I'm sure High Octane would have something to say about that.
I'm sure the church, the Cowra Uniting Church, would love an illegal gambling ring betting on the wrestling matches.
Slipping some money under the table.
I know, but I honestly... Straight off the bat here, we're disagreeing, because as much as I love Benny and I respect Benny, just looking at it on paper, I think Arima does have the edge.
Okay. All right.
Again, like, I don't want to seem like a fence sitter here because I could go either way, but if it was kind of a gun-to-head situation, I'd say Arima just for those reasons. But I think the reasons you give for Benny the emotion could help. Like I've been in situations, man. Like my debut.
I feel like the crowd is going to be on his side.
My debut.
And I feel like that rallying, he's just going to pull straight through.
Again, I say all the time I hate putting myself over, and then I still ass backwards put myself over, but I'm just trying to give context here. It was obviously before I met you, Miss Novalee, but my debut, my first ever wrestling match was a 6-man tag. Cowra, I was getting the crap kicked out of me by Mike Kelly, Rob Messenger, Devious Dave, Nick Jades on the outside. She got a couple of sneaky shots in as well. That Cowra crowd, they pulled, and I don't even know, they had no idea who I was 10 minutes before that. I'd never been there before in my life. But for whatever reason, I connected with those people, and they rallied, and they started chanting Crossfire, and it was awesome, and I pulled myself up, and I managed to roll Mike Kelly up, and then everyone sung happy birthday to me, because it was my 23rd birthday, and I cried like a little schoolgirl. That's okay. It's wrestling. Blood, sweat, and tears, literally. But then the year after that, and maybe this is on me, my brother was cosplaying as Tank. My little brother, who's now 6'3" and up twice my side, he was cosplaying as Tank, and that broke my heart, and I got a bit mad, and then the crowd kind of cost me that match, to be honest, and hey, look, my mistakes are my mistakes, it was my own fault too, but both two matches, both leading towards the crowd, both caused different outcomes. Maybe that's a me problem, maybe that's my problem, but I wonder, Benny being out of the game for so long, like, yeah, he did some commentary for Suplex. He is the general manager for Suplex currently. So he's still been in front of the crowd, and he said even just when he did that little rumble spot and he come out and he hit those couple of spears, he almost cried. He almost cried in the middle of the ring in a rumble. So what's he going to do when?
True, I guess
it's a one-on-one match. The referees are there. The bell rings. The pressure's on.
Yeah.
It's sink or swim.
What an opening match though. Like holy.
And
holy fire truck. Sorry, I never said that.
I'm not going to bother. I'm not going to bother. I'm not going to bother beeping that out. But we'll try to refrain. I'm sorry, James. Sorry, Cowra Uniting Church. The show will be a family friendly show, so we're trying to do a family friendly episode. But
sorry,
no, it's fine. It's fine. It's caught in conversation. It's still
just
marked as E for explicit, Miss Novalee.
Yeah.
But no, I'm not going to sit here and I'm not going to crap on your choice of Benny, because I see where you're coming from. But no, I think I've just got to go with Arima.
Okay.
But
all right.
I just think, do we go to the next match here? Or?
Yeah, all right. So match number 2 is Big James versus Barry the Swooper Blake.
Now, Now, James did end up posting this on his socials as well, but he wanted to call into this episode, but unfortunately in real life he is a very busy man. He's just moved house.
Ladies and gentlemen, October 26th is approaching, and we all know what that means. ICW Central West presents the Emma Butler Memorial Show once again. These are always some of my favorite shows to do, and always some of my favorite fans to interact with. But this time, it's a bit more serious for me. Last time I appeared in Cowra, I lost to Barry Blake. Yep. That's not going to happen again, Barry. And as everybody might know by now, it's been announced that it is myself, Big James, up against Barry Blake. So, Barry, this is what I wanted to put out to you. I think I can beat you in 5 minutes. I'm going to take you more seriously this time. If you can keep up with me for 5 minutes, you've earned my respect. See you on October 26th, Barry.
Now, nothing has been confirmed just yet, but I am hearing through the grapevine with my sources that we very well may actually be putting 5 minutes on the clock here. So if Barry Blake cannot beat Big James in 5 minutes, Big James will be the winner by default.
Right. Okay. That kind of changes things.
Now, Miss Novalee, you obviously being my wife, you know Big James very well.
Yeah.
He's kind of had his moments where, he went down a darker path with Reverend DF, and then You know, he come out and he was a bit cocky at the last Emma Butler, which is what cost him. He did still speak very highly of the Cara faithful here in this promo, but you could tell
he's
that
serious.
I felt that, man.
Seriousness behind that promo.
And I just want to go on record here. I didn't know that he was posting that promo to social media. I was just scrolling about a week ago as we record this when he posted that, and it said Big James posted a video, and I went, here we go, and
okay.
Because you got to keep in mind here, like, and I'm not trying to put myself over, this is happenstance, it is what it is. March 2022 was the reason that we recruited Barry Blake to Rogue to begin with.
Yeah.
When me and Big James held Barry's hand up in the middle of that ring, I whispered, you want in? And I can't repeat what Swooper said, because again, we're going to try our best to be family friendly. But basically, he gave me a hell yeah, brother, but said something else. Yeah. And we were like, you're in, you've done it. But as time's gone on, and I guess as he's had time to think of it, Big James, I guess, he just keeps mulling over that thing. Because it was a multi-man match. There was, 6 people in that match. I can't think off the top of my head. Of all the people that Barry could have pinned, he pinned the biggest bloke in that ring.
He's trying to prove a point.
And I think James is, as we said, he got a bit cocky that night. Yeah. And he tried to pick his spot, and Barry...
Again, emotions get the best of all of us.
Barry, Cara's own Barry Blake. Now, he might live down the Hunter Valley now. Again,
he's a homegrown boy.
James was he was getting a bit of mixed reactions from the crowd. Some were booing, some were cheering. Either way, he was feeling it. He was vibing it.
Yeah.
And that 1 second allowed the hometown crowd to let the swooper rally, and Barry swooped in, hit that spear, 1, 2, 3. And now this is where both men are representing Rogue. The three of us, me included with Barry and James, are SBC. Look, James is basically, and I've joked with him a few times that there's been a few times where he's retired or whatever else because of the politics of this business. And the love and the respect that he has for both the Cara fans and High Octane as a person is what keeps him back to Central West here. If Barry beats James, James has basically said this will be it. And I truly think this could be it. I don't know where we go from here. I don't know where... I definitely don't know where Rogue as a whole goes from here, but I don't know where the three of us as SBC, like, we've got the shirt, we got merch on Pro Wrestling Tees. That's like cheap plug, but like we have a logo, we have an entrance video, we have merch. Could this thing implode before we even get to have a tag match? Like,
just before you even get
before we even get to do anything, it's just going to be gone. Like
it's definitely going to be an interesting match to see for sure.
And this is where it really hurts Nova, because I'll give you my prediction first, because
let me hear it.
I think Swoop's going to do it.
You reckon?
And this is my best mate. And I'm sorry, James, but Swoop has been training regularly down in Newey. He's been doing a lot of stuff. And I just think, we talked about this with the ECW stuff, right? Yeah. With Nick Martino and Ashak way back at the start of this year with our first show. James, I genuinely had goosebumps when I first saw that video, because you could tell he meant what he was saying, right? Yeah. But and it's kind of ironic me saying this as a blind man, I worry that Big James, formerly James Hellfire, the Nightmare James Hellfire, I worry that he's tunnel vision on destruction and despair.
Again,
is he gonna slip up?
This is flowing back again, even to ECW with Bodie and Rex. Again, tunnel vision with Bodie.
Tunnel vision lost to Tom Barrett, like we predicted. Yes, so I don't know. I think Swoop's got this, but
see, I don't know, because I'm very because
you said you were leaning towards Big James even before I showed you this promo, off air. So
see, I feel like Big James has got it, because he's just extremely seems very serious.
And with this added caveat though, it's almost like it's still ICW. To tie it in with ICW, Wrath does the 5 minutes of theory. Bruno and Kanto, just barely, but he survived 5 minutes. So by default, as per the rules, was announced the winner.
Right, yeah, true.
And that sent Raph down an even darker path than he already's gone down multiple times. So
surely, I feel
with that
like
added
Big
caveat,
James could probably hold it down for 5 minutes. Like, he's a big man.
With the added caveat of the 5 minutes, I do think that favours Big James. But I just think all it takes is that one spear, or Swoop's even teased using my switchblade lariat. James can attest to this. I can hit that sumbitch out of nowhere. Swoop's a lot. Believe it or not, Swoop. You know, he likes to drink. He likes to party.
I mean, he's a
football. He's a football player. He is very deceptively quick when he wants to be. He could uncork that spear or the lariat or the big forearm, or he could
just come out of nowhere. My God.
Yeah, if we could go back to that with the RKO out of nowhere, he could hit something out of nowhere, and But no, I'm going to go with Swoop. I'm still going to stick with Swoop.
I'm still going to fight you. I reckon Big James.
But
I'm Big James.
And again, right, this is where it looks like I'm biased because he's my best mate and whatever else. But I just, I am very looking forward to this match, and I think it's going to exceed.
It's going to make
I think it's going to exceed expectations, though. And again, that's the point I was making. I might be biased because obviously I'm mates with Swoop as well, but Big James is my best mate. I think this match is going to exceed expectations for both of these men because in 2022, when they had that scramble, obviously it come down to James and Swoop. Swoop hit the spear. Those two were one of the main talking points from the entire show. Wrestlers, fans, everyone. And it wasn't, and I even said this when I had Swoop on a few weeks ago as well, and again, that was around the time you were still feeling unwell, so you had to miss out. A lot of people are sleeping on this match because they are not traditional wrestlers. But both of them will be the first to tell you that. James is a powerhouse, Swoop's a brawler, they swing for the fences, they hope it sticks. They're still both a little bit green in their own right, but that's not necessarily a bad thing because they both have heart, they both have passion. And again, in that type of environment with that crowd being as hot as it is, these guys, I think, I don't know for sure if the 5-minute challenge has been signed off, but I know that ICW management are, at least considering it. But regardless of however long those guys are in the ring, it's going to be hot, it's going to be heavy, and I think it's just going to be one hell of a party atmosphere inside that Carey United Church. That church might turn into a honky-tonk.
I just want to see where SBC goes from here. Like, that's just what's rattling me.
And again, like, this is not to put myself over, but like, if I don't get the team with them, life goes on. But man, I really want to manage those guys because I think in the tag division, in ICW, and then of course, obviously ICW Central West, I think James and Swooper can do some awesome things together. They both have a hell of charisma. The fans have, same thing as me. For whatever reason, they just gravitated towards me. For whatever reason, they've gravitated towards Big James. And obviously, Swooper does have the advantage of being the hometown boy. But Swoop is a very great connection with audiences all around the country in general. He's been on shows in Sydney where he's been the most over guy on the card, and he's been out there for 3 minutes. Like, it's just a fact. It's wrestling, man. And I don't know. I'm going to be very emotional, I think, again, from a completely different perspective to the Benny and Arrow match to this, because I have a very personal, maybe not agenda, but just a very personal reason, right?
To both of them.
At the end of the day, I hope these guys just have a great match and...
Yeah. Both these guys.
Yeah, but no, I'm going to stick with Swoop. Yeah. I'm sorry, James.
I'm on James's side. I'm not getting involved with that big mother trucker.
So we're 2 matches in now, and we've already disagreed on both of them. So that's a great start, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, so you're sleeping on the couch tonight? No.
Match number 3, Novalee. What have we got?
Number 3. So match number 3, we've got C-Factor, AWOL, Chris Stevens versus Rogue Heart, Zach Striker.
Ooh, see, now this, again, like all of Octane has put together.
This is a stacked card, bro.
Look, people are going to scoff at this because, look, we've never kidded for a second. We don't have the production value of some other companies in New South Wales. But this is damn near a supercard with the talent that is clashing in this show. And this is where I'm very, very torn because... Obviously, again, C-Factor, we had him on and you were a part of that interview, Novalee. Very great conversation.
Definitely.
And then Zach obviously takes being a member of Rogue very personality. He's named himself, obviously I've got the Pride of Rogue in Jackson Thornhill later in this card, and then I've got the Heart of Rogue, and I guess I'm the soul of Rogue. And Swooper and Big James they're just,
And
you know.
I'm the Mrs. of Rogue. I don't know.
You're the brains of it all. You're the one that helped me recruit Matt Graves, and that didn't work out very
I'm
well.
the brains and the brawn of Rogue.
And I'm just the beauty.
Muscle mommy.
I'm just the beauty. And obviously, you know, we've got Big James, who's the enforcer, and then Swoop's just, you know, swoop. He can fit in wherever he wants because he's just that type of person, and that's why we love him. But again, the experience leans towards C Factor, but then there's part of me that's biased, and I've seen Zach Stryker, and he's just come. This kid just lost 9 months of his career very early on from a hernia, and he's back. And of course, it was a losing effort to the dad squad at the last ICW show, unfortunately. But this really could go either way. And what's your take on this match? Because I'm literally sitting on the fence here. I'm sitting on the fence here.
I'm even on the fence because I'm like, like you said, it literally comes down to you look at the experience of C Factor, but then at the same time, Zach's hungry for a win because he's been off 9 months. And
I don't want to sit here and make it seem like I'm taking jabs at C Factor here, because there's a reason we had him on the show. I'm a very big fan of what he does. The rise that he's had in such a short amount of time is ridiculous. But
the only thing against him, though, is he goes for the Swans.
Oh, yeah, good Lord. Yeah, that's topical, because obviously this past weekend as we record this, the Swans just got demolished by the Brisbane Lions in the AFL Grand Final. But and again, C Factor might be the type to take this personally, but I genuinely think when it comes down to being a student of the game, I'd say Zach Stryker just has the edge. And obviously, again, C Factor has the experience level, but that means in theory, Zach Stryker has more footage to study than C Factor does.
Yeah, that's true.
And being the student of the game that he is, I think that gives Zach Stryker the edge just barely.
Okay.
So I'm going to go with my heart, pun not intended to the road car. That actually wasn't intended, but hell, what a good segue that was. I have to go with Zach. I think just that little gun to head, I've just got to say Zach. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'm not going to be mad, because again, I get to call these matches, and you get to sit in the crowd for the first time in a long time
to be a fan.
and just
so
mark
excited.
out. And
Yeah.
Dude.
And I just want to say, I actually agree with you.
Yeah.
I think Zach, because I think having this 9 months off, I reckon he's been training in the background. He is hungry for that win.
We've seen him, Nova. We've seen him a handful of times. We've seen him at ICW. We've seen him at ECW with the limited stuff that he was allowed to do with the ring crew and the stuff. He has been there. He has been so hungry.
Like,
he has been chomping at the bit. And at the same time, again, like we've said before with Benny, that could possibly be the downfall. Maybe he gets too overzealous, but I think my heart has to go with the row card Zach Stryker.
Yeah,
I can't.
100% agree.
I'm sorry, C Factor. Much love, much respect, but I just think
C Factor at all.
Dude, even if Stryker just gets a quick roll up, man, like just again, and that's again my first match.
That Zach has.
My first match in Cara. Got the crap kicked out of me for like 20 minutes, and somehow I managed to roll up Mike Kelly of all people.
Yeah, so
Mike freaking Kelly.
It happens. It happens.
I think Zach. I've got to go with
Zach attack.
Yeah, well, maybe again, if he hits that Zach attack, it's a very swift move. It takes him a second to hit that. That 1 second could lead him to the 3 seconds. But again, Stevens has offense of his own, like that crisscross sling blade. He hits that wraparound submission hold with the straight jacket, choke that he does. If Zach tries one of his big strikes and C Factor catches that arm, bang, it's going to take 2 seconds to have that cravated over, and Zach could... I don't know, like this... This match, considering the couple of years that C Factor does have on Zach, this honestly is probably the most even matchup on the card.
Yeah.
And I... Yeah.
It's very... Yeah.
But I think so. We've actually agreed on that one with Zack Striker.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think move on then. We'll go match 4, Nova Lee. What have we got here?
So for match 4, we actually have a chain match between Tank versus Benny Whiplash.
Now, look, not to put myself over here, all right, but obviously Crossfire Graphics is one of the sponsors for this event. It's because obviously I was on commentary at ICW when Benny made this challenge and he attacked Tank, and it's so weird because you look at it on paper, you'd think, why would Benny Whiplash, with the size disadvantage and the power advantage that the Tank has, why would you want to be chained to him, etc., etc. But the moment Benny said that, I said on commentary, I'm like, I don't know if this is going to be made official, but if ICW management is listening, and I even said, I will beg, borrow, and steal to get Octane to sign off on this. And look, I might have sent
Will you lie, cheat, and steal?
Viva la Raza. But I may or may not have sent an email and just said, look, you know, at least consider this, but I don't think I had anything to do with it. I think Benny did force the hand at the ICW Academy. Tank was getting some reps in. I don't know if you saw the video or not, Nova, because this was very recently. So the match was kind of teeter-tottering on if he would, because, again, Tank had nothing to lose, but he was just like, he's beat Benny a few times, and one of the matches has gone to a no contest, but Benny cheated to beat at the last show. Apex Anderson held Tank's feet unbeknownst to the referee.
Right.
So I think Tank was just like, you know, basically, even though it's a best of 6, I think best of 6 series, I think Tank just wanted to be rid of Benny for a little bit. But at the ICW Academy, Tank was just doing some stretching, some rolling. I guess somehow the Academy was double booked, or Benny found out Tank was there somehow. Attacked him with the chain at the ICW Academy, choked him out, and basically said, give me an answer within 24 hours. And that little cheap shot had Tank message management and say, sign off on it. It was made. The moment High Octane sent me the message to say, hi, you know, on my Crossfire Graphics email, and said, you know, this match has been made, I was over the moon, and I had a little bit of... it's funny because this is a very serious matchup, but I had some lighthearted fun making this graphic and, you know, putting the chains and stuff in the background and making it all pretty. But this match is going to be anything but pretty. And I, again, mismatch aside, with the chain in factor, with the no disqualification rules in factor, I don't think Tank's power advantage comes into play, because Benny, I mean, obviously, you know, Tank can use it as a weapon as well, but Benny being able to use that chain as a weapon, and as he's proved twice in a row now, that chain has been the equalizer for him. And with all due respect to Tank, there is part of me that wonders with how much he loves laughing and smiling and high-fiving the fans, and there's nothing wrong with that, especially in Cowra. Tank is a very big fan favourite everywhere he goes, but especially in Cowra, he's a massive, massive fan favourite in Cowra. But does Tank have that killer instinct in this type of environment?
I mean, you're chained to your opponent.
Tank has done some no DQ stuff in the past. He has. But Benny on... Again, I don't want to go back to ECW, but Benny at the last ECW show in that 4-way was pulling out moves he'd never done, and that was 2 years off as well. You and I, we were on commentary. We literally were like, what the F? When he pulled out that moonsault kick and landed on his feet. And,
it was like, what is this flippy stuff?
And even though it was a 4-way, obviously the friendship with Apex came into play, and they did some double team stuff.
They did.
Apex obviously does have Jackson Thornhill later in the card, which we'll get to, but...
Is he going to try and come out and interfere?
It's no
DQ.
This where we're going? It's no disqualification. He could... I haven't heard anything about him being banned from ringside.
Right.
And again, with Benny tied to him, Tank can still keep a better eye on Apex, because Benny can't really run anywhere. But there's a lot of factors here, which again, this one has me on the fence, and I don't know where to go with this.
Yeah, I'm really torn, to be honest, because you've got the swiftness of Benny, but then at the same time, you can't count Tank out either. Like, it's very, very hard to make a decision on who I think is going to win this one.
People here may think I'm being biased because my own history with Tank is very well documented. STA.
You still can't count him out.
I imploded that. But I just think, look, me and Tank have gone to war. We've buried the hatchet as water under the bridge. We've earned respect with the wars that we had before. I had to step away. But I still just don't think he quite has that killer instinct. And with Apex Anderson possibly lurking.
Interfering, yeah.
But then again, will Jackson Thornhill help Tank if Apex gets involved? You know, there's all this...
Apex be too cocky, or Benny gets too cocky with Apex, they're thinking he has extra help and slip up. We've seen that many times.
Again, this is gun to head.
They're out there to help you.
This is gun to head, and I say this with all due respect. As I said, we've buried the hatchet. It's water under the bridge. We shook hands. We've even talked. I've mentioned on commentary saying that Tank has evolved a lot in the last couple of years since I last faced him, and I would love to possibly team with him, even if it's just a once-off, one time down the line when I ever get cleared again. But I just think in this type of matchup, I don't know if Tank has the killer instinct, and I have to go with Benny. And again, people may think that's me being biased, but I'm leaning towards Benny.
Oh, because I'm so torn because Benny's so swift and agile. I'm just like, oof. Like, you know, he's the one that I'd go for, but at the same time, I don't want to count Tank out. Because I'm just like, he is evolving.
And as I just said, Nova, that fan support, if Benny's wailing on Tank with that chain and the fans are behind Tank, will that be enough to...
It's just...
I don't want to throw out a cliche here.
It's your typical Behemoth versus Goliath.
Yeah, it's a David versus Goliath thing, and obviously... That story is that Goliath's the bad guy and David's the good guy. It's obviously flipped here, but this is going to sound really cliche, Nova, but are we going to have like a Rocky type moment? Like if Benny starts wailing away, that the adrenaline's going to start pumping.
I'm thinking
the fans are. With all due respect to Benny, I think the fans are 100% going to be behind Tank, and maybe that'll be enough to get him. Just all Tank needs is one shot. One shot.
All I'm thinking is all Benny needs to do is just unlock that beast of Tank, and Tank could take the win. Just unlock that beast. All you need to do is just fire him up, and I feel like that smile is going to turn upside down real quick.
And this is information that I have not yet been privy to. Now, a chain match, obviously it's no disqualifications, no count out, yada, yada, yada.
Yep.
There is 2 different ways of winning for a change match. There is a traditional way of you have to incapacitate your opponent enough to be able to touch all 4 corners.
Yep.
Or you just go traditional, you chain together, pinfall or submission in the ring only. This is information
on that.
If it's touch all 4 corners, maybe I'd still lean towards Tank just because Benny can't really drag him, but just on the surface without knowing, I've got to go with Benny because he's crafty. Benny is very crafty.
Yeah, he is. I give him that. But I'm still holding on to, is Apex going to mess it up somehow? Because I don't know. Like, it's great having someone in your corner, but at the same time, it's not. Because you can't 100%.
So you think that Apex is possibly going to accidentally cost Benny the match?
Yeah, he could. You don't know. Once you're out there, you're not sure, you know? So, I think I'm going to go Tank, because I'm just thinking too, with a chain match, strength really plays into it. And I'm not saying Benny's not strong. He's so talented and agile and fast. But at the same time in this, I feel like strength really plays into a chain match.
It is a good point because obviously Benny's made the challenge and he wants to prove that, because Tank kept saying he'd running away and Benny said, he's not running away, he's picking his spots. And again, you can't really dispute that to an effect. But if it gets to a point where Tank does fire up and Benny does want to run away,
where's he going to go?
One yank of that chain, he's right back in. And obviously, I fell victim to it myself. That recoil, that black hole slam variation. Tank could quite easily, with one yank of that chain,
Yeah.
Benny is straight in that recoil, and that could be the difference maker as well. So maybe
I'm on Tank's side.
I'm still going to go Benny. I'm not going to turn my back on Benny, but I think that
I've flipped your brain here, haven't I? You're thinking. It's got you thinking.
And again,
I don't. Going.
My current assumption, I believe, is that they're going to go for the traditional pinfall and submission. Mm-hmm. But because again, Benny got to pick the stipulation. Yeah. If there's some sort of curveball where Tank goes, well, hey, you picked the match type, so we do it this way. Touch all four corners. That's definitely going to give him the advantage. But no, I think just on the surface, chain match, Benny made it. He's proven that it's effective. Yeah. I think having Apex in his pocket will help. You think that
it could be a disadvantage. That's actually,
so I'm going Benny, you're going Tank is the bottom line.
I'm going Tank.
So far we've disagreed on 3 of them. We've agreed on 1 of them.
Yeah.
So that brings us to match 5.
Match
number 5.
Which is a non-title match, which is Jackson Thornhill versus ICW Australian Champion Apex Anderson.
And I may or may not have typed a strongly worded email to High Octane when he announced that this was a non-title match. Mm-hmm. Because
not happy, Jan?
He already had this match in mind, and I understand that, and it's an exhibition match, and it's a charity show, and obviously the 2 big titles are going to be on the line in just a moment, which we'll get to. But at the last show, I was on commentary. Jackson Thornhill, Apex Anderson. Jackson Thornhill was a second away from becoming the new ICW Australian Champion in that main event. Benny Whiplash stuck his head in it. Apex low-blowed Jackson Thornhill, and he stole the victory. And you know what?
Benny.
Apex Anderson cracked his own rib in the process, so that is karma in its own right. That's another story for another day. I think the fact that this rematch, although it wasn't intended to be a rematch, it was kind of floating around in the brain of James High Octane. Why is this non-title? Because and this is where maybe my emotions get too much of me, because I'm running away with Jackson Thornhill in this one. I think Jackson Thornhill is going to kick him straight in the teeth, kiss from a rose, possibly drop him on his head with that Prideplex, get that 1, 2, 3. That's my opinion. I'm sticking to it. Nova Lee, you can have your own opinion, and I'll get that in a minute. But Jackson Thornhill did send us a little something.
Apex, you come into ICW and think just because you won a few matches that you are top dog. You walked in after not being good enough for the piss pot that is Queensland wrestling. Oof. You are nothing but a new toy for some of these rookies to ogle over. But not me. I've been working my ass off for the last 5 years, coming in every week and giving everything that I have for those that come to these shows. All while you cheat, steal, and pretend to be some apex predator. However, when I get my hands on you, I'm not going to fall for the same pathetic tricks. I'm going to kick your teeth in and prove that you are nothing more than a flash in a pan. A stepping stone in the career of the pride fighter, Jackson Thornhill. You had your chance to a fair fight, Apex, and you blew it. Now, you get to feel the pain that you earned when we meet again. I'm not stopping until you're flat on that mat and missing a few teeth.
That was some strong words.
And again, emotions running high. But I want to point something out right now. As you said, he's been around for about 5 years. It's actually a tiny little bit longer than that, give or take, with his little stuff that he did up in Queensland. Mm-hmm. But Jackson Thornhill, 2022, March 2022, I originally was scheduled to be the special guest referee for the main event between High Octane and Atticus Slane in the Last Man Standing match. I almost said his shoot name because obviously we've had him on this pod multiple times and we know we should name it Atticus Slane. It was a great Last Man Standing match. I was very honoured to be able to referee that, but I ended up doing more of that show. Unfortunately, we had a bit of a snag, and High Octane said, Mr. Crossfire, would you please do the entire card? And I said yes. I was very happy to ref that entire card. Yep. But then I thought, hey, someone that's not booked should be booked. Kind of pissed me off a little bit that he wasn't booked. That's neither here nor there. Jackson Thornhill. Jackson Thornhill jumped in his car with his mum. I gave them some fuel money. And Jackson Thornhill on like a day's notice, refereed half of that card to give me just a little bit of a break. And now we fast forward 2 years later. He's in an exhibition match with a champion. And look, High Octane is my boy. I love High Octane. But the fact, maybe I'm biased because I'm the leader of Rogue, and I hate using the leader, but the founder of Rogue, because this is an actual group where we're individuals, not just another group that said we're individuals and focused on one individual. That's another story for another day. But as the founder of Rogue, maybe I'm biased, but the fact that this young man was screwed out of the title at the last show, I feel like we should have at least dangled a carrot a little bit, at least as a thank you. And look, this is still one hell of a spot for him to be on in Jackson Thornhill.
Definitely.
I understand that. But this man bailed you out, High Octane. Why? Why is this not an ICW Australian Championship match? That is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's my piece. I don't want to shoot on Octane here because he is my buddy. I truly love him very dearly like a brother.
And commissioner you're working for.
But
so,
I just why? But on that note, what we just heard from Jackson Thornhill, I think Apex Anderson is going to be collecting his teeth, and that's that. That's my opinion. Nova Lee, please give me yours.
Oh, see, I'm not sure. I'm really not sure because again, I'm like, if he goes and helps Benny in the match just before, does he get too gassed out like Apex?
And this is where I feel possibly Octane has done this intentionally, where he's put Benny and Apex back to back to try and make them focus on their own things, which, knowing Octane, that's probably something that did cross his mind when he did this. But it makes you wonder because Apex is a sucker for the limelight, so is Benny. They will never, shy away from a chance to be in the spotlight, which, look, it's professional wrestling. The more spotlight you get, the more money you make.
Yeah, more exposure.
Make your money, I get it, but this is a tricky situation because is this going to stop them from interfering? Or, as you just said, Nova, will they interfere with each other's matches and gas themselves out, essentially?
Well, see, with Benny, I was thinking, oh, yeah, he'll come help. But if I'm right, and Tank gives him an absolute beating, I don't see him returning the favour and helping Apex.
I see Apex possibly helping Benny. I truly do. I really do. It's not out of the realm. But regardless of whether I'm right or you're right, or whether a Tank wins or Benny wins, I don't think Benny's going to be in any state to turn straight around.
With the chain match.
No.
So
he's going to be icing himself,
Apex,
probably running himself an ice bath.
Yeah.
Or disappearing to the coldest wood floor part of the church you can find and just laying there.
Yeah.
I don't think Benny's going to be a factor in this match.
No. And this is why I feel I'm agreeing with you. And it's not, again, because he's a rogue boy, but I'm actually think I'm agreeing.
See, the internet will say that. The internet will say that Miss Nova Lee is siding with Rogue and sue me, but...
Whatever.
So I think everything provided...
I think Thornhill, because he does...
Thornhill...
I feel like... I'm not counting Apex out at all, but I just feel like...
Thornhill is, again, still very green in his own right. Absolutely.
But he has paid
former
his dues. He
into
has been
suburbs
working hard.
Former ICW World Heavyweight Champion. He defeated Jake Gibson to win that title. Now, there was some little bits and bobs from CJ Young, but Jake himself said, even before CJ came out, that match was going either way because he underestimated Thornhill. To win that match, Thornhill won a Capital Carnage match or a scramble match for casual wrestling fans. You know who he pinned in that match? Tank. He hit him with the Kiss from a Rose super kick with one shot, pinned him 1, 2, 3. Mm-hmm. He then defended in a no disqualification match with Nick Maltino where it spilled out into the crowd and went headfirst into a brick wall at some point during that match, still hit that super kick and retained. And then in Insane Asylum, yes, he lost it to Super Crimson Mask, Jackson Thornhill came closer than anyone, including High Octane, to ending Crimson Mask's undefeated streak at Insane Asylum. That's all I'm saying.
And another reason why I'm on Thornhill's side, just sitting there at ECW doing ring announcing stuff and just sitting there and just watching him come up from where he was, it's just just seeing him like.
And again, right? Like we've only had 2 shows for ECW so far, and obviously he's been a mainstay in ICW. But that first match,
seeing that, it was electric.
The opening match though to the last ECW show, he pinned CJ. He tried to shake CJ's hand.
Yeah.
CJ smacked his hand away, and he was kind of like, oh, okay. Water. But then main event, tables turn. Ace Shack 1, 2, 3 extends the hand. Thornhill does the exact same thing that CJ did. Well, it was the start of the match, I should say, rather, with CJ and Thornhill. Thornhill tried to show some respect. CJ slapped the hand away. After the match with Ace extended his hand. And Thornhill slapped the hand away and walked out. And I called out to him. Yeah. Like, what, 5, 6 times? I said, Jackson, where are you going? What are you doing? He stared daggers through me. He stared daggers through you as well, Nova, because he became that close to winning a heavyweight championship. Winning the number 1 contender spot to the heavyweight championship. But you know what I mean? Like, that close to gold, that close. And
it just got the best of him.
I think now that Apex took the low road literally and figuratively with that low blow, and obviously again courtesy of Benny and everything else, and all the fun bits and bobs that happened. Benny and Zack Stryker had a little bit of a squabble, which caused the distraction. So it is kind of on Zack a little bit, but Zack was defending himself. Benny threw hands. Obviously, Zack's not just going to stand there and let a dude punch him in the face. Like, all right, I don't know. I'm getting a little bit worked up. I'm getting a little bit emotional, but I think, A, this should have been a championship match. B, Jackson Thornhill wins.
Point. Yeah, I agree. I think that Thornhill's got this.
Please move on to the next match, Nova, because I'm actually getting a little bit pissed off now, and I kind of want to punch Apex Anderson in the face myself.
Whoa. Okay.
Anyway.
Right. So match 6 is Birdman versus Atticus Slane.
And this is a more light-hearted note. It is somewhat of a grudge match in a way, because it has stemmed off some of our little pop-up shows at the festivals, and these guys have come back and forth. I actually got to referee one of their little squabbles in 2022, a little bit after the Emma Butler Memorial Show for that year at the Cara, I believe it was the Cara Festival of Friendship. If I'm wrong with that one, James, I'm sorry. I know that they've done the Cara shows and a couple of other little festivals, but I believe that was the one that I was at. But yeah, Apex.
He's just on your mind.
Dude, if I didn't have stitches in my eye, I would have headbutted that guy already. It is what it is. Like sitting on commentary and watching my buddy and my little protege basically get screwed over and physically not being able to do anything about it pisses me off. I'm sorry.
All I can say is, you're seeing red.
But I could press the button, but
You're too mad. Okay.
Yeah, Birdman.
Okay, let's move on.
Atticus Slane, not Apex. Atticus, Apex. It all starts with A. Birdman, Atticus Slane. Who's your prediction for this, Nova?
Oh, I'm on the Atticus Slane train, man. That guy's got a complex background. Like, it's not, like, dissing on Birdman, but Atticus Slane.
And again, see, this is where we're kind of getting into the thick of it here, and we'll try and like hammer it home because I don't want to rant too long on this episode, but without hesitation, I say Atticus. And again, we're friends outside of the ring, and maybe I'm biased, but we've had a handful of Cara shows, yeah?
Yeah.
The only person to pin High Octane in Cara
is
November 2018, when Atticus Slane made his debut in Cara. Well, not his debut, but his first match, like his Cara debut, I should say. One-on-one matchup. He hit that big Z, which is that big jumping knee that he does. He pinned High Octane in that ring. 1, 2, 3. If anyone is going to do the same to Birdman,
it's got to be Atticus Slane.
It's going to be Atticus Slane.
Got to be.
And I mean, and Atticus kind of went through the gauntlet a little bit with Birdman prior in the festival anyway. he really drove it home. Did Atticus Slane, and I think in a one-on-one situation, I think it's going to happen again. Because as I said, the last show, obviously we didn't have one last year because of Octane having to get the new ring and stuff made up. But 2022, as I said, I was the referee. High Octane didn't pin Atticus Slane. It was a last man standing match. He kept Slane down for a 10 count, which is all well and done, but in Canberra, when Octane was the ICW Australian champion, I'm just going to say hashtag #FApex Anderson, speaking of the Australian champion, but Atticus Slane defeated High Octane at Insane Asylum to become ICW Australian champion. I think it was Insane Asylum, may have been Decade. It was at Tuggeranong, forgive me, ADHD, and I think it was in the same year anyway. In 2019, I believe, Atticus Slane defeated High Octane to become ICW Australian champion. So he's done it multiple times. As I said, only person to pin Octane in Cowra. I think Birdman, he's one that loves playing with the crowd. I think he's going to play with the crowd a bit too much.
Yeah,
and
get a bit too cocky.
at the last show, Atticus, he actually was a bit of a mixed bag because he did have some people cheering for him, and he did.
Right.
He did. I think him and Octane have gone to war enough to where it's not even a matter of hate or anything anymore. I think it's genuinely a battle of respect in a way, and they went to war, and he showed appreciation to the Cowra crowd, and the crowd showed appreciation back. Obviously, being the hometown favourite, Octane got more of the ovation, but it was a fairly even contest, all things considered, in terms of just the fan interaction, let alone the actual match. And I just think, going back to that, with all due respect to Birdman, and obviously he's a promoter himself now, perhaps he's focusing too much on APW and wants to just have a good time and have a fun night. I think Atticus hits that big Z. I think he gets the 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. I think you're right.
So there we go.
That wasn't probably one of the easier ones that we haven't had to.
And again, that's with all due respect to Birdman.
Yeah,
he is
definitely.
an iconic figure in Australian professional wrestling, absolutely.
Yeah.
But I just think, and again, Atticus Slane is one where he's kind of slowed down a little bit and he's become more of a Cowra exclusive, and maybe he'll have more of a bit of ring rust than Birdman does. But I just think
it's just that the only
just
one
the edge.
to beat Octane in Cowra, it's just, for me, that's just at the forefront, I should say, of my mind that he's done that.
And as
no
I said,
one else has that accolade.
They tangled at the Cowra festival, but on main Cowra shows, and again, James, if I'm wrong on this, from my memory, I believe Birdman is undefeated in Cowra on the main shows.
So it is a big matchup, though.
He could be the first to pin Birdman on a main show as well.
He could take that accolade home as well.
So that's 6 matches. We've agreed on 3. We've disagreed on 3.
Yeah.
We've got 2 matches left, I believe, Nova, which is part 2 and 3 of our triple main event, respectively.
Yes.
So if you'd like to hit us with what we're doing now.
So match 7 is part 2 of our triple main event for the ICW Central West Championship. Billy Goat Hill Brawl Rex defends the championship against Cowra's own James High Octane Lanham.
Absolutely nailed that, by the way.
Thank you.
And I will just explain the rules here, and this is a little bit confusing because it's a no disqualification, falls count anywhere match. But everything, so falls count anywhere within the parameters of Cowra as a town. So this could end up.
Oh my gosh!
This could end up down by the lake.
We could be in the gardens, and they could be pinning each other.
We could have High Octane hitting a vortex, or his version of the cutter, a la Randy Orton in memory of Emma in the middle of the Japanese gardens.
We could.
But the rules are, so it's technically no disqualifications, but any weapons used must be sourced locally within Cowra.
Okay, so we're going to Mitre 10, right?
So my question is, if Rex somehow smuggles something across the ACT New South Wales border, is that technically considered a foreign object?
It's technically in Cara though. So how?
So that's what I'm saying. If it's not,
But
if,
it came from ACT.
that's what I'm saying. So if he brings it
that's-
over, does
that's
that
a
constitute
big
a foreign
break.
object?
Yeah.
And how do we police this?
Yeah. How do we know where it came from? I could just see like it's a very Simpsons-y thing to do.
Are we
but
gonna
you
have
just
to-
stamp it.
That's what I'm saying.
probably
We're gonna have to
Cara-
do some
in Cara
OH&S,
or-
some OH&S type like tagging and putting some ribbons or some
Yeah.
tape or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, basically, no disqualification, falls count anywhere match. It's like, Billy Goat Hill, obviously a famous landmark in the small town of Cara. Beautiful landmark, beautiful views. I've been up there myself and took in the landscape. It's very, very nice. Took a drive up there with Mama Crossfire and T-Dog. Quite a few years back, actually. I don't know if it was the year I debuted or the year after, to be honest. But either way, it's been 6 or 7 years now. So, been quite a long time. But yeah, triple main event, part 2, Billy Goat's Brawl. No disqualification, no count-outs, falls count anywhere. All weapons sourced within the Shire boundary are legal. And, of course, falls within the Shire boundary. So what happens if you just somehow end up over the... I mean, that's one hell of a long trek. But what happens if somehow this ends up on the Cara border? This... going to be some fun stuff. But basically, this match is going to be chaotic. Rex and Octane do have a lot of history. And this is really hard because Octane, obviously, a very good mate. Rex, though, has gone back to his, evil ways, for lack of a better term. I feel, with all due respect to James, although he's proven that he can get a little bit hardcore, a little bit extreme in the past, I do wonder if he does still have that killer instinct, similar to what I said with Tank before.
Yes.
Gun to head, I think I'd go with Octane winning and regaining the ICW Central West Championship from Rex, who is obviously also the current ICW Heavyweight Champion as well. He's a double champion, but just the Central West title on the line here. I've got to go with James. I think High Octane pulls it out, especially like if they end up brawling through the crowd or whatever. That's his town. That's his crowd.
Uh-huh. See, and that's why I think I'm actually going to agree with you on this one as well. Because Rex is essentially a foreigner, right? So you've got Octane that knows the area extremely well.
Yeah, well, if it spills outside
He's got the fans on his side.
If it does spill outside the venue as per the rules,
he knows the
is
town.
Rex going to know where? Like, Rex is just going to be blindly just trying to run away.
Yeah.
And Octane could know shortcuts and secret passageway. I don't know. Maybe that's a
They
little bit
could
ridiculous.
have a fight in the local pizza shop, and the guy that owns it is going to take Octane's side. He's going to.
We are sponsored by 131 Pizzas,
Yeah, and I'm just saying, you said this is a no disqualification, right?
Yes.
So, random, townspeople could get in on the action too and help him.
I mean, we could see Mama Octane just
We could!
swipe Rex with a trash can or something crazy.
We could! You don't know what's going to happen. So, I feel like Octane has a very, very good advantage to win this one.
Like, I don't see James kind of going that route, but at the same time, Rex has drawn the ire of the Cara fans.
Well, I mean,
many times.
I don't see Octane doing that. That seems very, very heelish. But it's more that he might not get a chance to really.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Rex has drawn the ire of a lot of people. They might take matters into their own hands.
Got some
we
got some Cara vigilantes.
Look, so I'm from Goulburn, right? Goulburn is basically a miniature version of Sydney now. But when I was a kid, it was considered a country town. As a country, I obviously nowhere near as much as a country town as Cara, but I know what country people are like. This could be dangerous. This could very. But I think 100%. All due respect to Rex, I think High Octane takes this one home.
I agree.
I think we just move on to the main event.
I think we do.
The final part of the main event.
Yeah. So
Take
we're
it away,
up
Nova.
to. So this one would be match 8.
Yes, match number 8.
The final part of our triple main event. A multi-man insanity match for the Emma Butler Memorial Championship. High Octane defending against anyone and everyone on the roster that chooses to be a part of this match.
Now that in its own right, Are we going to have a 20?
I'm excited.
This could be
Color me
this could be a
excited.
20-man match. It could be a 5-man match. Like, who's going to want to pick their spot? Who's going to be in shape to even be a part of this match after some of these brawls we're going to see? And just so obviously I've got the rules in front of me, Nova, and I'll just run through it. Basically, there is no count out, no disqualification. Pinfall must end. Pinfall or submission in the ring. The first person to score a pin or submission is the champion.
Okay.
0 champion advantage. Both referees for tonight. We'll have one in the ring, but there will be one on the outside just to keep an eye, just in case there's multiple pins and yada yada yada. And all of that fun stuff. Maybe I can do some refereeing from the commentary desk as well.
Some one-eyed refereeing.
Literally, but
hey, I've got some 4 eyes. I've got glasses, so I'll be in the second row.
This is a big one because High Octane, not only is he pulling double duty, he is doing double duty in back-to-back consecutive matches, defending the championship to commemorate Emma, obviously, in the main event here. That's why it's the main event.
Yes.
But everyone just competing at once. First pinfall, no champion's advantage. How do I even predict this because I don't know who's going to be in the match?
Yeah, well, it says on the roster, who's to say there's not going to be some surprise person that has signed a contract that we don't know about that could pop up?
Well, again, I know,
We're not going to know.
There was a thing where, I don't know, card is always subject to change, but originally we said Jake Gibson was appearing live. We had Alistair Fleming on this show months ago where he said he was looking at wanting to be on this show.
Could they pop up? Could they be there?
There is a plethora of people that...
Could there be people, like I said, a surprise that we don't know about that Octane, Commissioner High Octane has got to sign? And could they come and say yes to the challenge?
Look at the amount of people that we've had on these shows over the years.
Yeah.
This is probably not even a third of our all-time roster. And that's just Central West alone, let alone people that are part of ICW affiliate that by proxy could be allowed to come in. I don't know where this goes.
I don't know where this goes either. I don't think I can pick a winner
So when I looked
point.
at this, Nova, I kind of said to you before we started recording, I threw it out there that I think that Benny Whiplash, if he survives Tank, and I know that I did protect him.
He is getting
Benny Whiplash.
whooping, I think.
Benny
I
Whiplash
digress.
was like, I threw that out there, but
yeah.
What if Big James?
This is true.
And again, I'm not just saying that because he's my buddy. He could come in. Rex is one of the biggest guys.
This is not to discount his match, but he's only going to last 5 minutes.
In theory.
And he has some cool down time before this as well.
So I've just got the brain a ticking.
We're thinking
obviously, as the founder of Rogue, maybe we may or may not have shot a message here or a message there to some of the proteges, and I've told them to take advantage of this. Jackson Thornhill being gypped of the Aussie title.
Yeah.
If he disposes
Come and
of
take
Apex.
this championship, buddy.
This is an open chance. This is an open,
You've got an
open contract,
shot.
essentially,
You've
for
got a shot.
everyone. Man, this is where, Nova, I wish these stitches were out of my eye. Because I'd even come in and try and just get a sneaky roll up. And if it doesn't work, I'd probably just go sit back at the table. But
I wish I was medically cleared.
But
I've had enough training at home.
This is a huge opportunity, all jokes aside. And
it is.
As I said, Nova,
for a very, very important championship.
On one hand, we don't know what state these competitors are going to be in by the time this match comes.
Exactly.
But in theory, there could be 20 guys in this ring. Or brawling around ringside, and
we could have a 50-man. Who knows?
This may end up being the greatest Royal Rumble.
Go?
You know, like this is.
Do not know.
We're gonna. I have a feeling that we're gonna have at least 10 or so bodies. That's just my personal. Because look, no matter how sore you are or how beat down you are, you got to keep yourself going. You got to keep yourself moving. Worry about the pain you're in the next morning.
Yeah.
Or the day after that.
Push through.
You know, you can bitch and moan about how much pain you're in on the drive home. But when there's championships on the line, and especially a championship this important, a championship revolving around the money that we're trying to raise here, I think with all...
It's big bragging rights.
As I said, I think
like
James will defeat Rex beforehand, and you said so as well.
Yeah.
I think we have a new champion.
Yeah, I think so too, because I think...
Who that new champion is, I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I don't know the rules. Like, do they have to be standing in the ring when the bell rings? Or can they just come out anytime until the match ends? Or
Yeah, it's very...
Because that's what lends me. I said it tongue-in-cheek to you off air, Nova, but someone like Benny Whiplash, if he's going, backstage and he's trying to relax and he's not seeing and he's a small guy, he could rush in, get a quick roll-up on someone, whether that's Birdman, Atticus Slane, Octane himself, Lord forbid Rex adds himself to this match as well.
Hey,
I
just looking at this card, he actually has a 3-match break. He has a 3-match break. He could cool down.
I don't know what it is, but for some reason, the name in my brain, the voice in my brain, rather, is screaming the name Benny Whiplash.
For me,
I don't know why. I don't know what, but I'm going to have to go with my gut. That's what my gut's telling me. That's what my head's telling me.
My gut and my head, Big James.
Big James.
Big James for me, because he's got to just hold it down 5 minutes. He could be on a roll. He could win that match with Swooper, and then boom.
Well, that's the thing. If they do put that 5 minutes on the
clock. I feel like
clock,
if he's got that confidence in him, he could take this. He could.
He could put that if they do go ahead and put that 5 minutes on the clock, which looks like they're going to.
If that's how they go.
The thing is, right?
It's
James's match to lose essentially. He can get out and you've got a 10 count, right?
You look at this.
And even
you look at this. He is looking at it like this could be his last match. This could be career ending for him. He doesn't want to go anymore if he doesn't win this match. He's got so much riding on this match.
If we go back to that match, Nova, and this is me going to support your choice here, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, I said Swooper for that match specifically.
You did. Yeah.
But 5 minutes on the clock, you get a 10 count out of the ring. James could get out of the ring, get back in the ring, get out of the ring. He could toy with Swooper for 5 minutes. It is his match to lose. And even on that same note to what you said before, there's Swooper, because he's only got that 5 minutes rush ahead, James gets a big shot in, pins. Say he pins Swooper in 2 minutes, right? Imagine he gets a shot in. Pins Swooper in 2 minutes in his own right.
He's saying that.
It's
Big James, just looking at his background and his past and his career he had with Rev and stuff, it's just, he knows how to toy with people. He's learnt that. And I feel like he has that cheekiness that he could do that. He could just jump in and out of the ring and just absolutely toy with Swooper.
Well,
I could see that.
That's kind of what he did, at the last one in 2022, and then he just got back in at the wrong time. But you got 5 minutes on the clock.
He's worked on his timing
you've got strategy.
I guarantee you now. Because he lost that match, he even said in his promo, he's been pretty fixated on that. You're
going on record to say that the main event here in Central West is Big James.
I think it's Big James. I think it is.
I'm going to have to now try and make some phone calls and send some emails to try and convince both him and Swooper to possibly enter themselves. And
I think they should.
I think they
should. I think he has a chance.
All I'm saying here is if we have
Big
James,
card,
if we have Barry Swooper, if we have Zack Stryker and Jackson Thornhill, that is 4 of the 5 members of Rogue, or 4 of the 6 members if you count myself. So you're going to
just jump in
I wish I could. But all
I'm
saying is if we have Big James, Swooper, Thornhill, Stryker, that is 4 of the 5 members of Rogue, because obviously Robbie Parker's Victorian-based, he's not on this card. Yeah. That's 4 members of Rogue in this match. Yeah. The chances of me, once again, being a manager of champions, or champion, increase. And you know what that does? That increases my bank account. And that increases my fellow Rogue's bank account. You know what that does, Nova Lee? Because you're my wife, that increases your bank account.
It does. And I do like money.
So Big James, Nova Lee's putting you on notice here. You're her hired gun, apparently.
Notice. You need to go and get in this challenge, bro. Do it. It's yours to win, bro. I am on your side.
I'm going to get so much heat from my Rogue brothers on this because I said Swooper's going over James, so I'm not going to hear the end of it from him. But then I've just said Benny Whiplash, and I'm sticking with... I don't know what it is. There's just this voice in my head. And I think it's what you were saying before about him being sneaky and crafty, and it's just in my head that I think Benny Whiplash, if he's able to enter this... Because we've seen before, and I don't want to, reference wrestling like overseas and stuff, but we've seen wrestlers before pull double duty. And because they've been down, because they've been out, no one's really had an eye on them. They've come in, they've snuck a win, especially in these type of multi-man or scramble type situations.
Yeah.
The time expires, or, they come in, get the roll up and the match ends, or whatever the case may be, depending on case-by-case scenario. The match ends, they steal a win, essentially, is my point. I'm sticking with Benny. I think there's something about Benny Whiplash that's in my brain. But hey, I guess, as I said, Big James, you're on notice. But as I said, 4 members of Rogue, in theory, could be in this match.
Yeah.
I like my chances. I like my odds. On commentary, obviously, I will do my best to remain unbiased. Because Nova Lee's sitting in the crowd, she can cheer and boo as loud as she wants as a fan and make her voices heard. But I just think that, there's something about me that says Benny Whiplash. But let's quickly roll back to the start, and we'll just rapid fire through our predictions. So match 1, I said Arima.
And I said Benny.
Match
Benny
2 was that was Swoop and Big James. I'm still saying Swoop.
Big James all the way.
Match 3.
So match 3 was C Factor, AWOL, Chris Stevens versus Rogue Heart.
We both said Striker.
We both said Striker.
Chain match.
The chain match.
I said Benny, you said Tank.
I said Tank, yes.
Thornhill Apex, we both said Thornhill.
We both said Thornhill.
And then we both said Octane.
We both said, no, match 6. Birdman and
sorry,
Atticus.
we both said Slain.
We both said Slain. We both said Octane.
Yep.
And then for the multi-man...
We're disagreeing.
So
that's 8 matches, and we're 4-4.
Yeah. Okay.
So this is going to be a very interesting...
Be pretty interesting.
And here's the thing, right? Like, for this, at the end of the day, Octane may retain in that multi-man. I don't want to count him out for a second, but here's the thing, right? We're 4-4 currently. Yeah. We could go 3-3, and then we're both wrong in that multi-man. Yeah. Because with the list,
there is so just many with this list alone of people
that are in matches that could be in it, and as you said, people that haven't been announced or could be a surprise.
You just don't know. You don't know what Commissioner High Octane has planned.
I genuinely, I'm very... Like, obviously I was excited for this show, and as we start to wind down and go to wrap this up, because we've been talking for an hour and 20, so by the time...
I've just been so excited about this
By the time we do, like, the intro and outro and everything, we'll be on, like, an hour and a half sort of thing. So, we'll, don't want to rant for too much longer, but the endless possibilities for all of these matches, but that multi-man alone, now that we start thinking and you start fantasy booking and
your brain's ticking and...
This could go many different ways, and I cannot wait to be a part of it, and as we, start
I'm excited for this main event. Like, you've got a triple header here, but I'm excited for this final part because you just don't
honestly,
know
Octane,
where it's going to go.
Look, maybe I got a bit heated before about Apex and Thornhill, and it is what it is. But as heated as I got about that, I said it at the start of the show, and I'll say it again. The thinking that he's put into the order of this card and billing it as a triple main event, obviously starting with Benny and then going into Octane himself doing the double duty. It's a brilliant card.
It's an intricate card. It is very well thought out.
And as we said, as we record this on September 30th, this is dropping on October 6th.
October 6th.
On either 12 p.m. or 5 p.m. Probably 5 p.m. because we've got a couple in the can. So it's going to be some sort of double header. So it should be 127, as I said in the intro. But, at the time of recording, there's 5 tickets left. So we'll still put the link in and et cetera, et cetera. But I just, I really hope we sell those last 5 tickets. And I don't doubt that we will, to be honest. But I cannot wait. And I think, honestly, everyone that's there are going to get their money's worth. And the fact that I get to sit at that announce desk and call I'm calling it right now. I'm probably going to lose my voice.
I can see it. I think I'm going to, even as a fan, because extremely excited.
This is
this card is solid.
Brilliant card, honestly. And I think, but yeah, as I said, as we begin to wind down, I cannot wait to be there and to raise money with Benny auctioning off his gear. Obviously, the Radiation Kick shirts, we've got $25, $30 each, $10 goes to it. And then
if we sell all of them,
that's $250 raised.
That is awesome. I hope we get to sell them.
And then my general, like my hats and my stickers and my 8x10s and all that. depending, like, I don't know how much the actual amount will be, but because it all depends. But 10% of those earnings will be going
Proceeds,
towards that as well. You know, again, depending on how much I sell, maybe I'll even donate more as long as I've got money for myself and Nova to buy groceries the week after. I'm happy, you know.
We're happy. It's a good cause. It's a cause that's close to our heart.
Yeah, and look, I've said it, you know, time and time again, and I did cry in the middle of the ring at the last one. I've done really well on this podcast of holding it together, but to be honest, I'm probably going to cry at the events as well.
It's totally fair.
You know, it's not a rare cancer, but it is still uncommon, and to have, you know, both my dad and then someone in Octane who has been such a good friend and a mentor, and there would be no John Crossfire if High Octane didn't take that shot and put me on that Western Warfare show on my 23rd birthday, and I walked around all day wearing my Michael Jordan jersey with the 23 on it, acting like I was hot shit because it was my birthday. And all that aside, like, none of that would have happened without High Octane. And the fact that we're now bonded, it's a tragedy to be bonded by something like this, but the fact that all the love and respect that I already had for him, the fact that something like this bonds us for life now is... I don't know if bittersweet's even the word to use, but it's just, it's, even saying it's special sounds weird because using the word special is usually a positive, but it's obviously not. But you know what I mean? Like, it's just something that's there, and to be able to be a part of this means a lot to me. And I'm telling you right now, I'm probably going to cry.
You already look like you're
especially at the end of that night, because, you know, at the end of the night, you know, when we say thank you to the crowd and we do when we draw the raffle
and just hearing so much, like, how much has been raised, it's going to be just a very high emotional show.
I can't think of the exact amount, but I believe we raised just short of a couple thousand, or just on 2,000, I think. May have even been more.
Fantastic.
Correct me if I'm wrong, someone.
Yeah.
But yeah, we I believe it was Bathurst, may have been Orange, may have even been both, but basically I don't know what they call them.
And I remember you said a lot of the equipment and stuff that you guys got to buy.
Yeah, so I don't know what the actual detector thing is called, but basically the thing that goes into their mouth to detect the tongue cancer and the radiation and all of that, hence why obviously I called my finisher the radiation kick in honour of my dad and multiple other peoples. I do apologise, actually, as we're recording this, me and Nova Leah are missing our show, but some things are more important here.
Yeah.
But I don't even know, just the help, I guess.
Yeah.
The help we're going to be able to give other people. And I think, and again, I could be wrong on the number, but I believe it was 2 or 3 of the detectors were able to be purchased from the 2022 show.
Yeah.
Especially for rural towns, right?
Definitely.
Even the cities struggle to pick this up, let alone what we have in the middle of nowhere. Like, obviously, we're not in the middle of nowhere, Nova, but where we reside is kind of in the middle of nowhere. But even us just outside of Wagga, which is becoming a bigger town, they still lack in a lot of technology and equipment. Yeah. So the fact that Octane from a small town of Cowra is able to, one, get stuff for both Where's Cowra, but for surrounding areas as well, and help people literally save lives, I guess. Yeah. Like, we literally are saving lives with the money that's being raised here, and I just can't drive that home enough. Is my point. But yeah, I think come along, have a great night, raise some money.
Yeah.
I was already excited for this show, but now that I'm talking about it here and I'm ranting, I'm sorry, Nova, we're going to have to watch probably the rerun of our show as we record this now. We thought we had ample time, but...
I just want to check as well. So you said you're dropping on Friday the 6th of... Oh, no, it's not Friday,
Sunday the 6th of October. 6th.
I was looking at the September. Okay, cool. Awesome.
And the event obviously is October 26th, which we'll get into the plugs in a moment. But as we said...
so that is just 20 days away from it.
Well, 22 of you listening to this on Patreon, if you go 2-hour accent, which I think we'll go into the plugs now.
Okay.
Subscribe to the Patreon. Little as $5 Australian a month. Get 2-day early access. For $10 a month, you get early access plus the opportunity to ask us a question, which we'll address in the intro to the most current episode. Again, we're getting a few in the can now, so you would have to wait a couple of weeks. That's good. So that's the... what is it? Is the Rogue is number 5. So number 5 is the $5 one. Essential is the $10 one. And then the $15 one, which I call the real main event. You get both of those perks plus the option to, I just realized I was looking at Nova, so my bit echoey because I wasn't talking directly into the microphone. Apologies. But the $15 one, you get those perks, plus the opportunity to pick an actual episode, whether that be a top 10, a watch-along, a Markapalooza.
Yeah.
Again, give us like a month or so, depending on what you do, just because we want to do the correct research, depending on what it is. But you guys, it's at your feet. Like, it's in your hands. $15 to pick an episode. And then $20, which is my Supernova tier, which I named after my lovely wife, who I would lose my mind without, especially with stuff we were just talking to with my dad and everything else. If I didn't have Nova, I don't know where I'd be, to be honest, not to make Nova cry on the pod, but to have my Supernova by my side, that's why I named the tier after her. And obviously you get all those perks added. Plus, if we do watch-alongs, whether that be our Rumble-alongs or just random ones we pick for the sake of it, or ones that you have picked for the $15 tier, you will get exclusive Patreon-only video of our reactions to those matches as we do the watch-alongs. And as well as a bonus, if you do the $20 subscription, you will get a shout-out in the intro to the episodes for as long as you are a subscriber for that month. So, yeah, hopefully I did that at justice. So you really need to bring up my notes when I'm trying to read through that, but I try to have the current episode notes, and it's switching back and forth, and ADHD and everything in between. But we're an hour and a half in, so with that being said, we've just plugged a Patreon. It was a natural segue, and then I kind of flubbed it, but it is what it is. With that being said, look at the link tree, both mine and Nova's, for our respective social medias, all the podcast socials, of course. Mine also has the GoFundMe, which is still active, and I want to give a shout out because High Octane every now and then chucks a sneaky $10 in there, and you don't realize just how much that does help. Like, I'm not going to sit here and beg for handouts. We did have lovely friends set that up for us, and it's awesome, but it's there. My Amazon wish list, which does have a few things on there actually for Nova now as well, like the Raphael Sai pizza cutter, which I know that Octane, the nerd that he is, the child of the 80s and 90s that he is, we're going to pop out of that as well.
That.
But yeah, there's just a bunch of random stuff on there. So look, if you're in a giving mood, it's my 30th birthday on the 21st. So hey. No, but yeah, that's there. But it's all there in the link trees.
You just start adding some stuff for the pod to that. That would be cool. Like,
I think I've got what's it called? Like the light thing. Like the tripod light. And
yes.
Yeah, that's,
yes.
So that's both for my promos plus the pod, because obviously I've got a webcam, but you know, if I have the tripod and everything, it'll be easier to place it and da-da-da-da. Obviously, we don't have video, but where we are sitting, literally, we can put it in front of you, Nova, and point it to us, and we've got the whole couch and the whole kit and all the plushies.
Going back, like, not to hammer on, but going back to our Patreon would come in handy.
All those watch-alongs. That's what I was getting at. No, but again, little as $5, 2 day early I almost said 2 days early Octane. 2 days early access. Love you, Octane. But yeah, and with that being said, I think the links, obviously, on the... Oh, actually, before I get to the links, I've watched it, I'm so sorry. We have the referees for this show. My bad. The referees for this show will be Rusty Shackelford. And then all the way from Western Australia, we have Thomas Smith, if that is his real name. I actually know who that is, and I'm very excited for him to make his refereeing debut. Ooh. Love you, my good friend. Awesome. Your hat has been put aside for you in trade for that Rhino action figure. He has an action figure valued at about 30. My hat's 25, so we're just going to split the difference with me hand delivering it to him. Nice little trade there. Nice. Love me some old school Rhino, some old school ECW. And, of course, Jacob Barr. A very good young man. He's come a long way as a referee, and I'm very, very proud of this young man, actually, of how far he's coming with his refereeing in such a short amount of time. But yeah, Rusty Shackelford, Thomas Smith, Jacob Barr will be your referees for this event. Your ring announcer will be Johnny the Joker. And look, all jokes aside, knock on wood again, Nova will have her cue cards just in case. You never know.
Just in case, you never know.
And a notepad for people whose information we might not have, just so we can write down. But yeah, that's there. The commentary team will be play-by-play John Crossfire. Hey, that's me.
Hey,
and my colour commentator will be Cowra's own Craig Drayton. I think I have met Craig in the past. The name sounds familiar. If not, I look forward to seeing you again. Craig, forgive me, chair shots, concussions, ADHD. Is what it is, my friend. I believe his name sounds familiar. I've heard it bounced around within Cowra. And then, of course, the sponsors. Club Cowra, Cowra Community and Enterprise, Cowra Hire, the Men's Shed Cowra, 131 Pizza, which Nova gave the cheeky little plug to before, DJ Wild Entertainment, Crossfire Graphics, hey, that's me again. Henry McCarthy and his family. He, I believe Henry's actually donated some stuff for the ring. And then, of course, Emma's Tongue Cancer Charity, which is what it's all about. I really botched that. I should have done that before I started plugging the Patreon and stuff, but I got on a roll because you actually segued so naturally, Nova.
Naturally.
But the upcoming events, we have MXW Sunday Sesh in Mildura, October 20th. That's Sunday, October 20th. It's a Sunday show. Obviously, Sunday Sesh is in the name. The link to that will be below. The link to this show we're talking about, the Emma Butler Memorial Show, Cowra Uniting Church, October 26th, will be in the description. As I said, hopefully by the time this goes up, the 5 tickets are sold. But if not, hopefully this helps sell it. And again, I do apologize if you guys are listening to it. My audio does keep echoing because I keep trying to look at Nova. Usually I've got it so that I can side IO, but for some reason my microphone is just on a different angle to the last few episodes. I don't know what I've done. I'm having a terrible depth perception day as it is, to be honest. ECW Hard Days Fight, November 23rd, links below. And then MXW All for One 2, which I still find it's funny because is it All for One or is it All for Two? All for One 2, All for One, the word 1, the number 4, and then 2 in Roman numerals. Just to we've covered all bases here with MXW. Something for everyone with the numbers. But yeah, we got the main event. Obviously, there's a huge rumble on that show with the winner getting a title shot at the next year-long show. But the main event, Richie Taylor versus Bobby Fish, former NXT Tag Team Champion, former AEW Superstar, former Ring of Honor Television Champion. A lot of accolades, toe-to-toe with Richie. 2 very similar styles, both very technical when they want to, both very hard hitters when they want to. Gonna be an absolute banger. I cannot wait to watch that on IWTV when that eventually goes up. I actually just discovered...
I'm tuning in for that.
I've actually just discovered that IWTV actually has 2 separate mobile apps.
Oh.
So the one I've had for ages just didn't work, and I thought maybe they just abandoned the app. Turned out that, because the app I had previously was last updated in 2019, turns out they launched a new app in 2022. Obviously, 2022 was a very cluster, of a year for us with my surgery and everything and everything in between. So I somehow missed this. So I've got the new app. And I say new even though it's now 2 years old. It was most recently updated in August, and it works amazingly. I haven't tried out the Chromecast feature yet, so that remains to be seen. But I plan on catching up on some Adrenaline Pro Wrestling and MXW themselves and some DMDU and everything in between. Because usually I have to get out my laptop and it's like, I just want a Chromecast. But yeah, apparently 2 years ago they got a new app and I didn't even realize. That's my TED Talk for the day.
Your little tangent.
The more you know. That's
I still think it's romance, but anyway.
There we go. So the badumtus for future reference is the light blue button. I always thought it was the green one, which is the... So now we're just riffing now because we're wrapping this up. But yeah, all of that's there, all the links, all the fun stuff. This show means a lot. I'm really sorry, Nova. We're going to have to watch your show on rerun.
I don't even mind because I've been so excited about this show.
We thought, honestly, we were going to get in and out in like 40 minutes.
I knew it wasn't going to happen. We're just way too excited. I knew we were going to rant, rave, review. You know what we do.
For the marks, by the marks. But Nova, if you would like to give us the song and match of the week one more time.
Alrighty.
And you don't have to give the full explanation, but just kind of gloss over. And then what I will do is I'll play Jackson Thornhill and Big James's promos again after
Okay, on the way out. Yep. Alrighty. So, our song of the week is Burnin' My Light by Mercy Drive. And the match of the week was Randy Orton versus Edge, Backlash 2020. And the reason we picked that match, the Randy Orton match, is because Emma's all-time favourite wrestler was Randy Orton. And that's kind of why we went with that one. And again,
then obviously that song is Randy Orton's old theme song.
Yeah, Randy Orton's
from
old
his
theme
Legend
song.
Killer days.
So that's just a quick gloss over.
So yeah, trying to pay tribute to Emma and give you guys some banger tunes to listen to and some banger matches to watch, and I still think it's the reverse Rock Hogan effect, honestly.
Yeah.
If that match had have had a crowd, would have been 5 stars in the Tokyo Dome. It would have been 7 stars in the Tokyo Dome, actually. Uncle Dave, never given Kurt Angle a 5-star match, you dumbass. With that being said, I am John L. Crossfire.
And I am Nova Lee.
You guys were just caught
In conversation. Shakalaka.
Apex. You come into ICW and think just because you won a few matches that you are top dog. You walked in after not being good enough for the piss pot that is Queensland wrestling. You are nothing but a new toy for some of these rookies to ogle over. But not me. I've been working my ass off for the last 5 years, coming in every week and giving everything that I have for those that come to these shows. All while you cheat, steal, and pretend to be some apex predator. However, when I get my hands on you, I'm not going to fall for the same pathetic tricks. I'm going to kick your teeth in and prove that you are nothing more than a flash in a pan. A stepping stone in the career of the pride fighter, Jackson Thornhill. You had your chance to a fair fight, Apex, and you blew it. Now, you get to feel the pain that you earned when we meet again. I'm not stopping until you're flat on that mat and missing a few teeth.
Ladies and gentlemen, October 26th is approaching, and we all know what that means. ICW Central West presents the Emma Butler Memorial Show once again. These are always some of my favorite shows to do, and always some of my favorite fans to interact with. But this time, it's a bit more serious for me. Last time I appeared in Cara, I lost to Barry Blake. Yep. That's not going to happen again, Barry. And as everybody might know by now, it's been announced that it is myself, Big James, up against Barry Blake. So, Barry, this is what I wanted to put out to you. I think I can beat you in 5 minutes. I'm going to take you more seriously this time. If you can keep up with me for 5 minutes, you've earned my respect. See you on October 26th, Barry.